So if I had read these books when I first tried to start losing weight, I would have reached my goal weight years ago. So there are two books I think that anyone that's wanting to lose weight should read before they get started with their journey. Now, this book doesn't reveal the secrets on how to lose 100 pounds a month, but it was impactful for me in my situation. So in the book Walking with Peety by Eric O'Grey, it starts out with a situation that he experienced when he was at his biggest on an airplane.
They had to delay the flight because they didn't have a seatbelt extension that would fit me. There was a gentleman next to me, and he just looked in complete disgust, and he looked at me and he goes, "I'm gonna miss my connection because you're too fat."
I resonate with this because I had a similar situation as him while on a plane. Yeah, sure, I tend to spill over the sides on the seats, but that's why I try to buy the premium economy, especially during, for business travel. But this one time, at my personal biggest size, I was about 394 pounds, and this was right after COVID, well, when everything started opening up and travel was allowed. I hadn't traveled for about 2 years, and everyone knows that as the COVID time era void. So I got on a plane for international travel for work. I was super excited because I'd basically just been living in my room for the past 2 years. So I was really excited to get out and travel again. And I sat down and my gut wasn't spilling over into the next person's lap, which was nice. And I reached for the seat belt and immediately just sliding it to the maximum length that it can because, fat guy habits, right? And then I went to buckle it up and just couldn't reach anywhere near where the other side of the buckle was. And when I realized I couldn't reach, I just froze with horror. But then it dawned on me, because it's been so long since I traveled, oh, I need to slide it under my belly. That's what I'd always done. So I slid it under and it just became invisible to everybody, which is no big deal because when a flight attendant asks if I'm buckled, I can just say yeah and just kind of lean over and hope they believe me. But when I had done that, this time, it wasn't reaching. And that's when I really started to panic. And when I'm putting on my seatbelt, especially at that size, my gut is so big that I really can't even use two hands to buckle, like at least I can now. I was having to use just one hand to hold the buckle and then take the other end and slide it into the buckle. It's hard to explain, and I honestly really don't know how I even did it. This time, it was about 2 inches short, and I started trying to think of any excuse to get off the plane because I did not want to have to ask for an extender. Thus, I'm not exactly quick on my feet, so when the flight attendant walked by, I meekishly just got her attention by waving nervously, and I said as quietly as humanly possible, "Can I have a seatbelt extender, please?" And of course, she didn't hear me, and I could not bear to repeat myself. So, like an idiot, I grabbed the buckle and I kind of pointed to it and motioned.
I can't put it on.
Well, she knew then, and what had felt like an announcement to the entire airline, she told me that she would be right back with a seatbelt extender. And when she came back and handed it to me, I installed it as quickly as humanly possible. And then I tried to pretend like I didn't exist for the rest of the entire flight. Now, in reality, no one probably really cared, since my experience didn't adversely affect anyone around me, unlike Eric's situation. But that's just the sort of mentality that not just me, but other people have as an obese person, especially in what feels like sensitive situations like flying internationally or domestically as well. But anyways, Eric O'Grey eventually adopted a dog, and then he started to take him out on walks, starting with just right outside his apartment building, and then slowly built up distance. While at the same time, he started changing what he ate, making small changes over time to his diet, which is something that I've applied, as you know, recently in my most recent attempt at losing weight. and it has resulted in me losing over 100 pounds so far. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that I have a Siberian Husky and I've made him my walking buddy. So it's apparent that this book resonates more with me than maybe for some other people. But for some reason, for me, it adds a little bit of fuel in the motivation tank, and maybe it's the exposure or listening to others, changing their habits and overcoming challenges. But I feel like this is, one of the reasons why I create the channel, so that other people can have that sort of experience when they watch me and they're feeling helpless and they can't lose the weight. Now, this other book is probably the most important book of all time for weight loss, and it's not even about losing weight. The irony, right? Well, the book teaches us that small, consistent changes in our behavior can lead to massive results over time. It's not about overnight transformations, but rather the compound effect that tiny habits shape our entire lives. This is basically weight loss in a nutshell. To create everlasting change, the author goes into the 4-step method of creating new habits. One's the cue, one's the craving, then it's the response, then the reward. And being aware of this, or better yet, implementing it to replace bad habits with much healthier habits, is really what it's all about. As you can see in my weight loss graph for the past 10-ish, maybe 11 months, it's clear that one of the main themes is that we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our system. And when my motivation is at a level of 0 or even lower, the only thing that separates my progress from a spiral downward to binge eating and rapid weight gain are the habits that I have put in place. So if I had read these books when I first tried to start losing weight, I would have reached my goal weight years ago. And it kind of pisses me off that I never thought to read a book about losing weight or motivation or habits or anything that's remotely actually beneficial to losing weight. In fact, I would actually say that these 2 books, and mostly the Atomic Habits, are the only books worth reading, because from what I've read, all the other books I've read so far are just basically just BS or somebody just grifting their program. Do you know about a book that you would like to share that's about weight loss that resonates well with you? Post it down in the comments. I'd like to hear about it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, the usual. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.